enforcing motive? Who had the money to pay for all of it? Who had control of the military and NORAD to force it to stand down while 4 passenger planes went to their designated targets? Who knew the intricacies of U.S. commercial flights to get around the FAA air traffic control? Who had the power, if needed, to operate planes by remote control? Who had control of the courts in the United States to make sure that no wrongful death claims were trial? Who had control of disposal so that all the steel girders of the Twin Towers were shipped to China before they could be chemically analyzed? Who had the power to control the NYPD and the NYFD? Who had the power to allow dozens of suspects to escape to foreign countries, especially Israeli suspects? Who had the technology to bring down steel-girded buildings built to withstand forces much greater than aberrant planes and nominal fires? Who had the advanced computer knowledge to coordinate the attacks? Who had the state-of-the-art knowledge about explosives and detonators? Who had control of the press and media to curtail investigations? Who is the most familiar with and has political control over the city, New York, at which the attacks took place? Who has a history of unprovoked attacks or even false flag operations, some of which have been directed at the United States? Who has a network of spies operating in the United States that could facilitate the attacks? Who has personnel in almost every sector of the American federal government to create a massive cover-up? And lastly, as any detective would ask, who benefits? Who benefits, cui bono, from the attacks? Israel had the motive, the power, the money, the influence, the technology, the terrorist history, and most of all, was the only one who benefited from 9/11. Benjamin Netanyahu, who admitted in an off-guard moment that, quote, we're benefiting from one thing, and that is the attack on the Twin Towers and the Pentagon, and the American struggle in Iraq. These events swung American public opinion in our favor. The day after, Netanyahu said something even more incredible. In regard to the 9/11 attacks, he said, quote, it's very good.